was listening to a podcast the other day and something stuck out to me, and I thought, I believe that us widows need to know a little bit more about this. I don't know if you've ever heard of Tommy Woods, but he is a neuroscientist, and he was speaking on this podcast about our sharpness, the mental health of our brain, and things that we can be doing right now. He even said, instead of treating our brain like a dump truck, we should be treating it like a Formula One car. And I thought about that for widows. I thought about how I have spent a lot of time just focused on brain and what we say and how we respond to grief. And one of the things that he talked about, I thought this was really interesting, is that there are 5 things that we could do to protect our brain. Now, when you're thinking about widowhood, you're probably not focused on your brain because you're focused more on your emotions. But did you know that neurologically you are having a change, a shift in your brain because of your grief? It kind of makes sense, right? It's not just an emotional response, it's actually a response that's happening neurologically. You may have heard things like grief brain, or you may have heard the fogginess of grief. Well, one of the things he talks about in this 5 ways to kind of remain sharp is, one is movement. So getting out, doing something, whether that's just walking down the road, walking around your property, but moving. And this is for you as a widow. And I know that you're probably thinking, well, I don't really want to do anything. I just lost my husband. I just want to lay in bed. If you are a new widow, that's what I want you to do. I just want you to sleep. I want you to take naps. I want you to rest as much. If you're a year into this, I want you to start just getting a little bit more activity going, just a little bit. Even that's just walking, a mile, or walking, for 20 minutes. Just getting out and doing something. Actually, movement helps our brain to remain sharp. Another one is learning. I loved this. Learning. Guess what? Making mistakes. It's actually a good thing. As a widow, we probably make a million of them. I know when I first lost my husband Lou to cancer, anything I did, I kept messing up, and I realized that's really good for our brains. So if you are messing up or trying to learn something new, don't be afraid of messing up. It's actually good for your brain. Number 3 is this, connection. Why I created Grieve in Me, connection, real connection. It doesn't have to be in person, but you're connecting with other people, especially other people that you are in the same boat with. So other widows is super important so that you can find your own healing. And when you do connect, you're going to see how important that is. So of course, get in the community of Grieve in Me. It's very important. And then number 4 is this, purpose. Now you're probably saying to me, I have no purpose. My husband died. And I want to just say this as lovingly as possible. That is just a thought. I know. When you lose your spouse, you probably think there is nothing left for me. I spent my whole life with this person and now he's gone. The reality is, yes, he died. Yes, and there's trauma that goes with that. And yes, you are changed. And there is a realness of that sorrow, that grief. But there is a thought that you have that you can actually change. You don't have to stay with, I have no purpose now. You do. And that's just a place for you to get curious. Curiosity in our grief journey now as widows is real important. It's not a place for you to push yourself through, trying to find my purpose. No. It's mainly just getting curious. What do I like now? What are things that do actually light me up? And if you have gotten my gentle grief guide, you're going to know that you are not leaving your spouse behind. You're not betraying him by moving with your grief. You're actually probably honoring yourself and you're honoring the love that you have. So I just want to share that with you. And I know that it's difficult to be thinking about purpose. That's actually why I created my course, A New Way to Stand, because I think there is an idea that if I move forward, I betray him. And I have this course that I have, I believe, is amazing, and anybody would benefit from it. But especially if you're a year to 2 years into it, this is a great course for you. 5 months in, yes, this is a great course for you. If you are newly widowed, I wish I could give you a big hug and tell you that it's going to be okay. I know that you don't feel like it is, but I believe that grief does soften. And I have shared this before, that grief, to me, when you first lose your spouse, it's like you have been injected with the worst poison ever. And you can't escape it. There's no way around it. You just are sitting in this pain. As time goes on, it kind of turns into a scratchy sweater, you know, the kind that's like up here and you're like, oh, I can't take it. It's so awful. That scratchy sweater at times will not be as noticeable. You'll be doing something and all of a sudden you'll maybe hear a song, or something will come to play or to light, or you'll even just being outside and just the smell of the air will remind you of him. And then you'll remember, oh, right, I'm wearing that sweater. I have that grief sweater on. Eventually, my thought is that God in his mercy would create that sweater to be more of a cashmere sweater. And when we think of our spouse, there will be soft, beautiful memories. That of course is something that I talk about all the time. Just to me, that's what, you know, the stages of grief are. You know, when I think about practicing any of these, so I just told you 4, when I think about practicing these, you know, as to sharpen our brain, it is to actually realize that as widows and women, unfortunately, we are at a higher risk for dementia. This is not to unlock a new fear. This is actually just to be aware. How are you taking care of yourself? You know, food is not just the answer. There's a lot of ways for us to take care of our brains, just like I shared with you. You know, there's the movement, there's connection, there is, what else did I say? There is learning, making mistakes. The last one is this. This was such a confirmation of why I created the Gentle Grief Guide and the New Way to Stand, is being kind to yourself. Speaking over yourself with kindness. I wonder how many times you say, oh, I wish I should be further along, or I should have done this, or what if I would have done that, or I didn't do enough for him, or I wasn't there enough, or I don't know how to move on anymore. I'll never be. There are all these things that we say that will create a thought. And that thought is not good for our brains. So for you, I want you to just start thinking, like, how am I talking to myself? Am I speaking to myself with kindness? Am I creating a space for my brain to heal by moving, by getting out, by making mistakes, by being connected with other widows? It doesn't have to be my group, but get in a connection group. Find some other people who are going through what you're doing. That connection is going to create some healing for your brain. Think about, what is it that I like now? What am I doing now that could become a purpose? You know, I was listening to this lady the other day and I thought it was really interesting. She's 75 and she started just making muffins. And those muffins turned into a huge amount of money for her because she just started peddling them. She went everywhere. And, you know, I was thinking that, what if you found something that you're like, oh, I'm really good at that. My husband used to say, I'm really good at that. And that could create income for you. Here's what I want to just leave you with is this. You are not over because your spouse died. Your life is not over and your story is not over. There is more. There's more for you. And I know you want to argue with me and you want to tell me no, you want to argue. What if you just got a little bit more curious? What if you just actually said, okay, I want to believe that there's more for me. I want to believe that God is not leaving me in the dust here, in the ashes. In fact, his word says that there's beauty that comes from ashes. Maybe staying sharp isn't about us pushing harder. It's about us being kinder. It's about us being gentler. It's about us taking care of ourselves in our grief. And if that is you and you are thinking to yourself, I really like to connect with Gina, go ahead, book a discovery call with me. We can chit chat. But mostly just know this, you're still here. And there is more. There is. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know that. But I want to just tell you, you're going to make it. You are going to make it. And P.S., you're beautiful.